Welcome, boxing fans, to Unbiased Boxing Talk, where we cover all the latest news in the fight game. I just want to point out, first and foremost, that this channel, or podcast, or whatever you want to call it, we call everything how it is and don't suck up to any fighters, promotional company, or network. Now, in this episode, I want to talk about all the potential fights that are possible for Saul Canelo Alvarez in May, assuming that's when his next fight will take place. Obviously, the fight that a lot of casual fans want is the Triple G trilogy. Being completely honest about this fight, Triple G doesn't deserve it until he beats a guy like Demetrius Andrade or Sergey Derevyanchenko in a rematch. In his last fight against Derevyanchenko, there was some controversy and he didn't really get the win clearly that he was supposed to get. Personally, I think the fight could have gone either way depending on what you like from either fighter, but I think they should have called it a draw so we can run it back to see who clearly is the better between the two. The second fight that a lot of casual fanboys are crying for is the Jermall Charlo fight. This fight is nothing but a tune-up fight for Canelo because Jermall Charlo is a paper champion who has done absolutely nothing in the middleweight division to even be considered as a potential opponent. Ever since Charlo moved up from junior middleweight, he fought a complete bum nobody in Hugo Centeno Jr., won a bogus gifted decision victory over a 36-year-old Matt Korobov, beat a 154-pounder coming up to 160 in Brandon Adams, not even stopping him. And now in his next fight, he's fighting another 154-pounder, Dennis Hogan. Even though Dennis Hogan did look good, and I thought he got the win against Jaime Munguia, he's still a 154-pounder, and Charlo's not fighting people in his own weight class. This dude was gifted a belt and seems to be content with fighting junior middleweights. He should have stayed down at that weight if all he's going to do is fight fighters from that weight class. Jermall Charlo has proven nothing at 160 pounds and will get completely destroyed and blown out of the water by Canelo Alvarez in under 6 rounds. The third fight at middleweight most boxing fans want to see is the fight with Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. I personally wouldn't mind seeing this fight, but as of right now, Andrade hasn't really done anything in his career at middleweight either, besides beating Max Selegny, who Danny Jacobs already destroyed. Andrade did have an opportunity to prove himself against a guy like Billy Joe Saunders, but we all know Saunders tested positive for PEDs and the fight was canceled, so it really wasn't Andrade's fault, but that was his only real chance to prove himself as an elite level fighter, even though I personally believe Demetrius Andrade is an elite level fighter and can give anyone in the middleweight division a run for their money. In order for him to really deserve the Canelo fight, he'll need to fight a guy like Jermall Charlo, Triple G, or even Sergey Derevyanchenko. And the winner of any of those fights can get a shot at Canelo Alvarez. Moving up to super middleweight, there's a bunch of potential fights for Canelo. We have a guy like Callum Smith who just called Canelo out and said that he's the best 168-pounder in the division. We have a guy like David Benavidez who just proved he's an elite level fighter by stopping Anthony Durrell to win the WBC title back. We have a guy like Caleb Plant, the IBF champion, who would give anyone in the division a run for their money with his height, his speed, and his power. We have a guy like even Billy Joe Saunders, who Eddie Hearn said is a likely candidate for Canelo Alvarez's next fight. And finally, in the light heavyweight division, where Canelo just won the WBO title by methodically breaking down and brutally stopping Sergey Kovalev in the 11th round, Dimitri Bivol recently stated that he can beat anyone in the division and would be open to fighting Canelo at 175 or even 168 if it was necessary. And of course, the Canelo Alvarez haters want to force him in the ring with a guy like Artur Beterbiev, who's just a completely different animal in the division. If Canelo fights any other elite fighter besides Beterbiev next, they'll say he's ducking him. But being completely honest, no matter who Canelo fights next, casual fanboys will say he's ducking this guy or that guy. Biased boxing channels such as Biased Boxing Ego never give credit to Canelo for all the top-level opposition he faces. They give out a false narrative that Canelo always has to fight everybody, but they don't push these other fighters such as Demetrius Andrade or Jermall Charlo to fight each other. Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing, and these channels honestly just hate that, and they don't want to see a Mexican fighter as the best fighter in the world. He constantly fights top fighter after top fighter after top fighter, but gets absolutely no credit from casuals and haters, just like Floyd Mayweather. Canelo Alvarez has proven that he's number one pound for pound by displaying elite level head movement, counterpunching abilities, and power, even all the way up to 175 pounds at light heavyweight. Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing, and look forward to another super fight in May. Thank you for tuning in to Unbiased Boxing Talk, and we'll see you in the next episode.